The Transformers will return after these messages. We now return to the Transformers.
All right. How's it going, guys? Fucking StreamYard is fucking gronking. But how's it going, everybody? It's been a crazy couple days. So obviously today is my birthday, and we are going to be working on our big boy here. The considered the most powerful of the combiners by G1 standards. We got ourselves Predaking. And yeah. Before we do that, we will be saying hi to our boy, Boset, in the chat. Thank you so much, Boset, for dropping by. All right. And it's actually been a while since I did a actual color stream, because I've been doing a lot of diorama and ink work. So be a little bit of a change of pace. All right, let's pull up some reference first and foremost. So the way I think I'm going to structure this, or at least go about this, is I'm going to work on, because there's so many different colors to Predaking, but the main ones are usually mostly like black, red, yellow, and oranges. So I'm going to be focusing on one like area, like one color per whichever area first and foremost, and we'll kind of we'll start with the oranges, start with the yellows, reds, and we'll go from there. So I think it's the best way to go about things. And I'm going to be using, obviously, Copic Markers for those who are unaware of what I use in my for coloring. I'm trying to see which color I want first. I didn't really do a whole lot of color picking this before the stream started, so I'm kind of just doing that now. Hey, Jacob. Thanks for the birthday wishes. Yeah, I'll start with this. I'll start with the YR16, and we'll kind of work our way into darker shades. All right, so the helmet of his head should all be orange, minus the antennas and the eyes and the mouth plate. So we'll do that. We'll do our best to kind of give off that illusion of it being metal and kind of like shining off on us. Yeah, I think in the cartoon he has black eyes, but I'm going to go with more, but I kind of prefer when they gave him a yellow eyes in more recent stories, so that's what we're going to go for here. I think that looks a little bit cooler. So. All right. It's a little bit more stylized look for his head sculpt, but I think I pretty much captured the character fairly decently. All right. Here, actually, maybe some pen. Oh, you're fucked. Just gonna write down the colors I'm using as I go, or on the order, just so I can work on one area and finish one area first and foremost, and then go back in with that, or apply the same sort of idea towards the other elements in them. Because with the Copic markers, you usually want to work in like one area first and foremost, because the ink will dry or won't become little, and you won't be able to really manipulate it as much later on as you're working. So you kind of have to work a little bit fast with Copics here. Though I'm not too worried about it for this one. All right. See, I think YR68 might be good. Yeah, that looks good. All right. So we'll go YR68. Just so I can keep track of everything. Make sure I don't make any mistakes. I'm just going to add a little bit to the sides of the orange here. Not too much. Oh, I better make sure. All right. Yeah, we're fine. All right. Now, so go back in with YR16. We're kind of just going to blend the new color in with the YR68. I think I'll use a yellow type color to make sure. I think this might actually. No, not this one. Maybe this guy. Yeah, I like that. That should work fine. Oh, and I see that Devastator's obviously kicking ass in the poll there. All right, so what was a YR00? All right. Now let's try using a darker shade for the shadows. All right, I think that will do it, and we'll kind of do the same sort of process throughout the rest of the orange elements, and then we'll kind of do the same sort of thing with the other colors, so like the reds, the yellows, the blacks. Although the blacks are going to be a lot easier to get through. So. Okay, so that's our goal here. So 4 colors. A little spot here. All right. All right, now just look at the reference. So most of the gold or the orange is usually like up in the arms, the wings, the head, and a little bit in the torso. So, and in the bowl, but you don't see the bowl in this drawing because he's kind of hidden in the background. So, don't have to worry about that too much. So, all right. So there's some orange on his like shoulder pads here. Okay. Yeah, all right. We'll start with the wings then. Start with the wings. You don't. All right, we'll just use the G1 model for reference here when it comes to colors. So unlike looking at like the Dreamwave and the G1, so it's kind of confusing me a little bit. Just because I'm borrowing a little bit how much from both designs for this one. Okay, so it wants this to be orange. Yeah, that makes sense. Orange here, and then the red for the helm. Yeah, so that stands out better. And then the wings. All right. All right, we'll do the mane first, actually, on the lion. Even though you can barely see the lion's actual head. Ooh. So with this marker. All right. Now YR68. So Perniking's kind of had an interesting history over the years. Obviously, his first introduction was in the G1 cartoon. In the 5 Faces of, what was it? The 5 Faces of Darkness. The first, like, it was in the first 5 episode arc of season 3, and he's kind of introduced as an enemy for Skylinks, I think, and then. And he was kind of considered the most powerful of the combiner teams, which, given his name, it makes a lot of sense. He's a king after all, and he's just a really cool character. He's basically comprised of 5 animal transformers. So you have Rampage, who is the tiger. You have Razorclaw, the leader. You have. And he turns into the lion. You have, what's his name? Dive Bomb, who turns into I think he's like an eagle or a hawk or something. I can't really remember which one he was. And then you had Tantrum, who was a bull, which you can't see here. And then you have Headstrong, who turns into the rhino. And they all kind of form, well, Predaking. And that's kind of how with the name of the Predacons in general, they kind of have done different things with it over the years. Like, obviously, most notably with Beast Wars, obviously, and Transformers Prime, where they completely redid the whole sort of story. So in Beast Wars, they were obviously the descendants of the Decepticons. They weren't really connected to the original Predacon team. And then in Transformers Prime, they were a completely different take on the Predacon concept in general. They were no longer animal transformers or anything like that, or anything like Beast Wars. They were dragons, essentially, like robot dragons. Which wasn't really my favorite storyline in the Prime cartoon, but it was all right. It was all right. And in that version, they had Predaking, but he was kind of just like a solo character, basically. He wasn't really, he wasn't a combiner or anything like that. He was just Predaking. And he was kind of like the main sort of a dragon until they introduced more in the movie, the tie-in movie that came after season 3, which he had a bit more prominent role in. little bit of a redemption arc for him because he kind of sided with the Autobots to stop Unicron and whatnot in the ending there. All right. And in that version, the Predacons were basically prehistoric life that Shockwave was able to clone and reproduce, essentially, or make new lives using their bone structure that they would find on Earth and stuff like that on Cybertron. They found a bunch of their remains on Cybertron because it was a weird storyline. It didn't really, it kind of felt like it came out of nowhere in the actual series, to be honest. Hi, Sean. How's it going? But I feel like that was a part of the storyline that could have been handled a bit better in the Prime cartoon. But all right, so okay, so I got to distinguish between the chest and the arm, so I'm not getting confused here, making mistakes. Yeah. All right. Just cover that all in. Let me dark that, black that anyways, almost. All right. Just go all over it. Okay. I think I'll do like a darker shade of red for the trim here, and then like a brighter red for the actual tiger face. That'll be a little bit better there. All right, we'll just leave that. Wire 68. So you're a 90s kid. Not really. I mean, I was born in the 90s, but it was more of the late 90s. I was born. But definitely do prefer things that came from the 90s versus what we have now. So, yeah, this should all be black. Darkened here. I'm doing quite all right, John. Doing all right. Gonna be spending the day. Not today. I have just because everyone else is kind of doing their own things today. So tomorrow I'm gonna be hanging out with some of the fam. Go bowling and go to dinner. Yeah. Fun stuff. All right, let me come back in with the wire 16 just to make sure I kind of blend things out a bit more with these two colors. Don't really use orange a lot when I'm drawing characters. I don't really draw a whole lot of orange characters, so it's kind of interesting. All right, let's get you. Oh, stick that. All right. Then late 80s, gotcha. Yeah, I'm a bit of a young squirt over here, so. Oh. Just now a little bit more than 16. I was surprised to see that you're only 24, almost 10 years older than you. Oh, Jesus, dude. Yeah, I'm a young guy. All right. I think we'll have some yellow and orange on the arm here. I think we'll. It's about it for the orange, right? I think. All right, we'll keep going. Actually, yeah. Oh, that one. Keep going the orange on the trim here. It'll just be on the bottom here. We'll have like as the dark red. That's what we'll do. All right. There we go. Yeah, that's good. Nope. Fucked up his ear. Oh well. It'll get covered up later. All right. Should be at the side of his arm. Do I want to make the joint orange, or do I want to make that gray? I think you'll make it gray and black. Yeah. Or do a mix. Do a mix of the orange and stuff. All right. At least some areas for the grays. That way the arm looks a little more interesting rather than just this whole, rather than just the plain orange. So I have a little more color to it. Maybe I'll change Farscape right now. Nice. Nice. All right. All right. So I think we'll do the wings now. Yeah. Because those are also orange. So, okay, so it kind of all goes. All right. Just kind of identify all the orange bits and then we'll kind of go in. Yeah. I'll leave this open for other colors. This little detail here. Probably gray or something. Yeah. Or yellow. Just because I like to add a little bit more spice to my transformers, not just make them super, super accurate to the one cartoon to the point where they don't really have a whole lot of detail or what have you. I usually try to go for the original cartoon designs while also kind of making them not modern, but you know, just making them a little more presentable. Because obviously, 80s cartoons, you know, love them, but their sometimes the animation wasn't the best. So. Yeah, darken those edges there. Just a minute. This transformer is the commander. Yeah. This is a Predaking. So he turns into so like 5 different transformers kind of merge to form Predaking. So and they're all animal based. Obviously, you have the leader Razorclaw, who turns into a lion. You have Rampage, who turns into the left arm, and the tiger. And then you have Dive Bomb, the eagle. You have Headstrong, who's the rhino, and then you have Tantrum, who you can't see but he's supposed to be the bull. He's the bull, but you can't really see him because the arm kind of blocks where his head would be. So yeah, I've been on like a Combiner Wars, like sort of rampage lately with all these drawings. So gonna have to do, because I worked on a Menasor on my lunch breaks a couple weeks ago. So might do that one next. But it looks like the poll wants me to do Devastator pretty soon, so I'll probably end up doing that and then do Menasor, and then whoever else. I do want to end up drawing all the Combiner teams at some point. I want to draw them all. All right, I think that's pretty good. So we'll just do the same to the other side. All right. Okay. Now, obviously, Predaking was introduced in the first 5 episodes of the 3rd season of G1, and then he's been in other things. He's been in other media before, the team, anyways. Or at least this version of the Predacons, obviously, because I kind of just explained the other versions of the Predacons. At least the 3 most notable ones in Transformers lore. Obviously, they've obviously taken on different forms over the years, but one of the main trait, or I think in IDW, they kind of made them like an elite team of fighters in the Decepticon ranks. They were kind of like the best fighters in the Decepticons. So, Predacon. I watched the newer. Yeah, in Transformers Prime, that was a completely new take on the character, or the whole concept of Predacon. So that's that's what I kind of mentioned. Transformers Prime, Beast Wars, and G1 are kind of like the 3 main sort of approaches to how the Predacons were portrayed. So in Prime, they were basically portrayed as being like these dragon transformers from Cybertron's prehistoric times. Which I wasn't really the biggest fan of that storyline in particular. It wasn't really my favorite, but I mean, it was a cool idea, but not really what I would have liked to have seen in that season. But in G1, they were a combiner team, and they formed Predaking, and they were kind of like, and that was kind of the combined forms name. And obviously, in the Prime cartoon, they had the one main sort of a Predacon who was named Predaking, and that was kind of a different type of character in that. So, but I mean, that's kind of happened all over the years with Transformers. They usually will, like, the names of characters, names of things will kind of change and such. It's kind of the names of things will kind of take on different meanings. We're actually kind of seeing that now. With the new Bumblebee movie, the new Transformers movie coming out, where they'll be taking the Terracons, who are also a G1 original character. They came out. Their first appearance was in the what was it? The Primal, Call the Primals or whatever, or Call the Primitives. That's what it's called. Call the Primitives was the episode where the Terracons were first introduced, and that was a big. It was kind of like where they were kind of getting all the animal-based Transformers together for, I can't remember what the story was about, but they were basically a team of monster Transformers, essentially, like that. They turned into like monster bots and whatnot. And so, but in the movie, they're going to be kind of portrayed very differently. They're going to be led by Scourge instead of Hunger, but it's not really going to be Scourge. At least not G1 Scourge. It's going to be more in line with like the Robots in Disguise version of that character, where he was kind of it was kind of like a Nemesis Prime situation with Scourge in the Robots in Disguise cartoon. He was kind of like a evil clone of Optimus Prime. and he had like the Nemesis Prime colors and whatnot, and so. But that's kind of been, and so they're going to be doing something very differently here, along with Nightbird. They're actually going to be having Nightbird, who's going to be part of the Terracons in this movie, but in the original cartoon, she was actually a human-built robot because the humans were inspired by Transformers, that they wanted to build their own sentient robot, and that Megatron obviously stole and reprogrammed to be a Decepticon, essentially. So, when's the new movie coming out? I think it's supposed to come out next year, if I'm not mistaken. But I better get back to work on this guy. All right. So, I think it'll just be the shoulders. No, that should be black there. So. Now I'll make these parts here orange. I'll leave that because I want to add a bit more contrast. You know what? This is a little off. Yeah. Whatever. Can't really do much to fix that, so. Yeah, because I just realized this thing doesn't really connect to this while this thing does. Right here. I didn't really notice that until now. And I can't really fix it because it goes underneath his neck. Yeah. I made an error. But yeah, I think the new movie's coming out next year, I think in the summer. It's supposed to be a sequel to the Mummy movie, but I'm not too sure if I'm all that interested in it, just because I don't really like some of the way they're setting things up. Just because they're going to be doing a lot of like Beast Wars stuff, which really doesn't really make sense because Beast Wars elements shouldn't really be taking place during G1, more G1 style universe, at least not until much later, you know. And it really just feels like the movie's going to be very crowded with a lot of stuff, a lot of, you know, because it seems like they're doing too much. That's what I think the problem is. Which, to be fair, has kind of been the problem with the movies in general. They've always kind of did too much. And didn't really focus on the things that need to be focused on. That's kind of like the main problem with the Michael Bay films. You know, they focus way too much energy on developing the human cast, but they didn't really do anything with the robot cast, you know. Kind of just became the sidekicks for the human characters, which I did not like. I think that was a mistake. Oh, actually, I missed an area here. Hold on. Just missed a spot. There. There we go. All right. Yeah, let's do this. All right. It would be cool if they came out with a movie focused on. Well, I think there's supposed to be a Cybertron animated film in the works. They just haven't really said much about it. But I think the guy who made it was one of the newer Toy Story movies. I think Toy Story 3 or 4. The guy who made that, I think, what's his name, Josh Cooley or something like that. I think he's supposed to be directing that movie, but we haven't. It's more been in rumors because they've been teasing doing their own sort of not multiverse, but their own sort of cinematic universe for Hasbro's Transformers, but we don't know if that's really happening anymore. I think that they've kind of changed course a little bit because there used to be like a big like writer's room that they were kind of establishing around the same time the 5th movie was coming out, but that all kind of came apart when the 5th movie kind of failed at the box office. But like, they had plans for like a Beast Wars movie. They had ideas for like a Cybertron movie. Like, there's a bunch of stuff they were kind of planning out. How can you make me choose between Superion and Devastator? Hi, Grumpy. How's it going? Got home. Nice, dude. But yeah, there's supposed to be a but I think they've been hinting at there being a Cybertron animated film for a while now. They just haven't really done anything with it. Which honestly, that's how I would do like the movies. Honestly, is animation. Like I would kind of like if you were to take like the animation from like the cutscenes of the fall Cybertron games, like that's how I would do like the movies in general, because you can probably get a lot more characters out of doing animation for Transformers than because if you're doing a live action, you're probably it seems like you're kind of limited to how many characters you can have, or I don't know. I don't know how it works, the logistics of it in terms of how the CGI or whatever, or how much it would cost to have that many characters. Because for me, it's like if I was to do a Transformers movie, I would want to have like the entire first season cast, or not the whole entire cast, obviously, but a good chunk of the first season cast of Autobots and Decepticons I'd want to have in a movie, in the first movie at least. So, thanks, Grumpy. I really appreciate that. All right. So I think we'll just do orange for some of the sides here, and then kind of make the rest insides black. That's how we'll. Yeah, this will do it. What we'll do for the arm here. But yeah, and then back to the Terracons, they were actually a combiner team as well. They formed Abominus. It was the enemy for Computron, I believe. And Computron was obviously created by Grimlock when he grew a brain in that one episode. Or not, he didn't grow a brain, he got a new brain, and it was kind of like transfused into it. I can't remember how it went. It's been so long since I watched those the season 3 episodes. All right, let's go. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, I like Computron. He's cool. Which I kind of want to draw Computron now. I want to draw all the combiners. I want to draw all the combiners at some point. So I already got a Minosaur going. I have Predaking here. And so, yeah, could probably do a Devastator. So I think Devastator is going to be the one that's going to go next. And then Minosaur, and then whoever else. Defensor would be kind of cool to do as well. All right. Oh, I need to do this. Getting ahead of myself. Okay. Joe Devastator, but I love Superion so much. Yeah. We'll do Superion. We'll do Superion. All right. We'll do them eventually. All right. So darken some areas here. All right. That should be it for the orange elements. At least for now. Okay. Now we'll move on to the yellows. Then we'll kind of transition into the reds afterwards. So we'll be and there's not a whole lot of yellow. It's just gonna be on Razor Claw, the torso, a little bit on the arm here, and then a little bit on the leg. All right. So I didn't do a whole lot of color picking before this trip started, so I'm kind of figuring things out here. Yeah, no problem, man. Hey, Corey. How's it going, man? All right, we'll start with the Y21 here. Two Y21s for some reason. All right, so I wanted to have the yellow kind of in here. Like a little part of the wings here, just to make it look a little bit more interesting. Kind of just get that squared off now. And we'll just do the eyes real quick. And we'll kind of just like map out where we want the yellows, where we want the reds and blacks to go. Actually, you know, with Predicting, his kind of design is always kind of changing. Like his designs are very all over the place in the cartoon. So there's some parts where it's like all yellow, or just little parts that are yellow or red. And, you know, it's kind of annoying. So we'll kind of just map out where I think the yellow should go, reds, and all that. So I think I'll make these sides here yellow. Kind of just use this lighter shade to kind of map that out. We'll leave some of these like little things here for other colors, just to make it a little more detailed here. Actually, I think we'll do the eyes for all of them in yellow. Let's do that real quick. There we go. Yeah, you don't really see the eye on Dive Bomb there. How much of an old young man are you? Oh, I'm 24 now. So, so I'm getting there. Don't worry. All right. I think I'll just make the sides here yellow. Then there we go. Oh, yeah, that should probably. Well, we'll go over that with red later. But yeah, I think that should be good. All right, let's do Razor Claw now. I think you should have red eyes for Razor Claw, just so he stands out a bit more from the rest of the yellow here. There we go. Young buck, as they saying goes. Oh, I feel a little 42. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, I'm getting there. Actually, you know what? I'll add some yellow to these vents here. That'll kind of add a little bit extra interesting detail to our king here, or in this case, the tiger. All right, so the way it works is just black on one half of the torso and then yellow on the bottom half. But I think that I kind of want it to be black. Let me just look at some reference here. kind of using multiple drawings of the character. So kind of using the Dreamwave design and the G1 design as reference. That's kind of a little bit of a hodgepodge. But I think it looks pretty decent. All right. Should we go all black or? You know what? I'll do yellow for a little bit of the waist. The chest will be black, and then the black on, and I'll put black on the a little bit of black and a little bit of yellow on the waist. That's what we'll do. All right. We'll just do that on the crunch piece, and then we'll leave everything else black. We'll kind of add little yellow accents here. Then, you know, I'll leave it. Yeah, I'll leave it all black then. Leave it all black. Hey, Mackie, how's it going, man? Thanks for the shout out, Mac, or the wishes. I think you and Mads were the first one to wish me a happy birthday. So, then my mom, and then other people wish me a happy birthday. So, thank you. All right. So then that should do it. Actually, do I want the yellow on the arm? Do I? Oh no, we're gonna go black for that, right? Yeah. Actually, there's a little bit of yellow in the cartoon model. So let's do. Hold on. I got to keep the design consistent. Makes my job a lot harder. All right. So do yellow for the shoulder pad. Then, okay. I'll do this part. I'll be 34 in February. Ooh, nice. 36. Nice. All right. Yeah, let's go. Let's do it all. Fuck it, we'll do it all. What the fuck's that? We'll just say it's part of it. I don't know what the fuck that was. I do. All right, let's make it all yellow. Fuck it. All right, I think that'll be it for all the yellow parts. Or do we want to add? Just add little accents here. And yeah, should be it for the yellow. All right. Now that we kind of mapped out things, we're just going to kind of see which colors we want to have blending with it. So Y21. As well as keeping track of which ones we're using. Oh, we don't really need you, so we have you. I need to get more yellow fucking markers, dude. It's like I only have a couple, and one of them's already fucking dead. So, kind of limited to what I can use here. Alright, so using Y08. Now, obviously, I'm writing notes down on my paper here, just to make sure I keep track of what order I use the colors in, just to make sure I'm being consistent. Hi, Keely. How's it going? Holy shit, all these old people in this chat. Just kidding. All these 30-year-olds. How's it going? All right. Yeah, actually, no one on this poll. Oh, yeah. Yay. Hi, Mads. How's it going? Holy shit, 8 people watching. Holy fuck, I don't think I've had that many people watch my streams before. It's cool. All right. Okay. I'm going to add too much to the vents here because I don't want to be too emphasized. Just enough. Into the crotch. Because that's an important part. Even for robots. You know what? I think this should be. Yeah, it looks better. All right. Thank you, Mads. All right. Oh, there's some division in the poll. Oh, Bruticus. Yeah. Yeah, Bruticus would be a lot of fun to draw, too. He's a really cool character. I mean, all the combiners are fucking cool. I mean, they're big-ass robots. So... they all merge into one giant robot. It's cute. All right. All right. Oh. I'm supposed to fucking go over that with red. Oh well. Fix it later. Get your eyes. And then we'll use the YR 000. Yeah. Better write that down. Okay. I kind of want these to be yellow now that I think about it. Yeah. That's that. There we go. Okay. All right, that should be good for this color. We'll try Y15. Yeah, I need darker shades of yellow, and the darkest one I have is out of fucking juice. So, what older Transformers show should I watch first? G1, the very first original cartoon, G1. So start with G1. You'll want to watch the first 2 seasons and then the 86 movie if you haven't already. And then you can watch season 3 and 4 because obviously the movie takes place in between season 2 and 3. So Then after that, you can probably just go from there because it's really important. I think it's really important. I always kind of recommend G1 as a starting point because it kind of gives you more context for the franchise in more recent storytelling and whatnot. It kind of gives you more like, oh, okay, this is why this is this, or why this character acts like this, or whatever. You know, there's even though every new interpretation is not really connected to the G1 cartoon, we still borrow elements from the original cartoon that play a role in the newer storylines as well. Like especially like the new Netflix series, which I wasn't really a big fan of, so which I can't really recommend unless you're into that kind of tone. Yeah, that works. But yeah, I'd say G1 is the best place to start for new fans of the franchise, and then work your way from there. You can definitely watch Beast Wars because that does take place in the G1 continuity. All right. All right. I think we're. Yeah, I'm going to be using a lot of warm grays for this guy. Because I do not have enough yellow to go around. I might have a little bit of an orange tint to the eye, just to make it a little bit more different from the rest of the body. I need 16. No. I think. Nope. Yeah, I think 16. Or maybe something else. Or you just fall on your ass for me. That's nice. There we go. This will work. Let's go back in. Just wanted almost a little bit of like a fiery sort of light up feature, I guess. I don't know. To his eyes, just to make it look more angry, more bloodthirsty, or energon thirsty in his case. All right. Just go ahead and do some of these. There it is. But yeah, so I might be streaming tomorrow. Actually, I'm not too sure when or if I will. I was going to actually stream some of the because I want to do some more diorama streams, but I didn't do one this week, or did because I said I was going to try doing more during the week, but I ended up just saying it's probably best just to do all the base coding on my own time, and then come back for a stream to do all the like more detailed stuff. I think because the thing that stuff's more interesting to see and look at as I'm making it. Other than just like watching me just lay down like base coats and spend the whole stream just waiting for the paint to dry. It's like when I do because when I do detailed stuff, it usually just doesn't take that long to dry. Unless it's like a big area that needs to be covered. But if it's like just like airbrushing or air dry or dry brushing, then I usually am pretty fine. Because it doesn't really take a whole lot of time to dry that for dry brushing. So yeah, I might do a stream tomorrow if, and I didn't want to do the stream yesterday, just because I did not want to risk my minutes or my hours being used up on StreamYards like last time. So yeah. I think that'll do it for the yellows. Or actually, you know what? I'll add a little bit of yellow to the barrel of the gun here. There. All right. I'm looking at A6 movie. Yep. Orson Welles is Unicron. They also have Leonard Nimoy. He played Galvatron. Obviously, you have the original 86-84 cast in there as well. Peter Cullen, Frank Welker. All of them are in there. And you have Robert Stack, who played Ultra Magnus. You had Judd Nelson, who actually got a cameo a little bit in the Bumblebee movie, which was pretty cool. Where I think it's like a scene where Bumblebee's like watching the TV, and you have Judd Nelson on screen, and it's kind of funny because it's like a little bit of a reference to Hot Rod because Judd Nelson played him, so that was kind of cool. Little nods like that I kind of appreciate. Here, I'll stack them up. All right, let's grab. Well, we'll do the dark reds first, and then we'll do the light reds. I kind of want to do a little bit different shades of red on it, just to make things a little more interesting to look at. All right. Start with this. Where to start with Transformers? Always you one yet. Or yep. And exactly. After you watch the original stuff, I think you're pretty much set to what you're pretty much good to go with the franchise. It can get a little bit confusing, especially when you can factor in the aligned continuity stuff. Which for that, I recommend just ignoring the rules of the aligned continuity because it doesn't really make sense. Which, well, I better explain what the aligned continuity is. The aligned continuity is basically, it was created, I think, in 2009, if I'm not mistaken. It was kind of like it was Hasbro trying to create some sort of a streamline within the franchise, at least in terms of storytelling. And a lot of people kind of misunderstand the nature of it because some people think that, oh, everything's like just supposed to be connected, what falls in line with the identifying what falls in line with the aligned continuity is kind of important. Basically, the Transformers Prime cartoon, the Alex Irvine novels, the 3 novels, and the War for Cybertron games, they're all supposed to be kind of within the aligned continuities realm, but the way that it works, it's not necessarily a direct continuity. It's not like where the stories kind of overlap or whatever, because like whatever first the games don't really necessarily connect to the show, for instance, right? What the aligned continuity was it was basically them essentially establishing the origins for the set origins for the Transformers lore and stuff like that, like namely like the stuff with Prime and Megatron, their whole backstory, and basically basically anything in the aligned continuity kind of stems from that sort of story element or that origin, and then they are allowed to kind of just do whatever they want with it afterwards. Like they're able to do their own spin on it as long as they keep true to that form. It's kind of like having like the Batman origin, right? Every Batman movie does the origin, but a little bit differently. It's kind of the same principle to kind of apply with the aligned continuity and how that works. So a lot of people think that, oh well, the novels don't really line up with the Prime cartoon, and the cartoon doesn't line up with the video games. So that's kind of like where a lot of the confusion kind of comes from for that area of the lore. So for that, I just say ignore the aligned continuity that whole idea that it's all supposed to be connected because it's not. Which I'm probably confusing a lot of people with that, but in the chat, they're like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? But that's kind of how it, but I don't know how else to explain it. And for a lot more lore details, I actually recommend Chris McFeely YouTube channel, who kind of goes into really in-depth details into how the lore and the continuity and whatnot works in Transformers. I'll plug his stream here or his channel real quick because it's kind of very useful tool to have if you're really into wanting to learn more about the history of Transformers and kind of the story behind it all. Like he does, he does everything. Like he does, lore. He does like stuff like stuff you don't like. He does character breakdowns. He does the history of, he talks about like stuff like biology in Transformers or like different like combiner teams or like literally any element of the franchise that you could think of. He's pretty much covered it essentially. So yeah. And yeah, I think so the cartoon is actually all on the Netflix series, or not on Netflix, not on the YouTube channel, the Hasbro YouTube channel. So you can always go and watch the cartoons there. Someone namely you needs to redux all Transformers and build one. Actually, it's funny you should say. I kind of did that once, kind of, sort of. Not like a full, like blown sort of, well-established version of it, but I just kind of broke it down to very simple. Like because I was just, I think I was like just bored one day. I was just like, like what would I do if I was like in charge of Hasbro or whatever? But I basically took all the elements that I think that worked the most in the franchise, and I kind of made them sort of mesh them together. But in my mind, it would be like a very seamless sort of transition. Like I'd add elements of like the original G1 origins for these characters, but also incorporate some of the more newer ideas as well into the franchise, like the 13 primes, then also it would kind of transition into the Quintesson era and whatnot, like some stuff with that, where the Quintessons came to Cybertron and sort of enslaved the Cybertronians. And then there's a lot of the stuff I kind of had ideas for. At least it was more just on paper things. It wasn't really fully fleshed out. It was kind of just like, it was kind of, I don't know, can't really describe it. And it's been a while since I think it's like years ago when I wrote that. Maybe I'll look into it. Maybe I'll like pull it out one day if I can find it. I'll go through and see like what my ideas would have been if they were to do that. But for me, it's like I would have the idea was to have like one like seamless continuity that's kind of spanned across all the media, like kind of like a multimedia project, like the Clone Wars stuff, or the like what Star Wars did, where they would kind of make where they have like games and cartoons and stuff like that, kind of connecting. That's kind of what I would have done, like where it's like the video games, the movies, the cartoons, they would all kind of be in the same sort of continuity. That's kind of like some of the ideas I kind of had for them. So I can have, yeah. But yeah, I tried to incorporate a lot of elements from, the aligned continuity as well as G1 and a little bit of IDW. And for me, I think what I really would want them to do, though, is have it be like very much, I kind of like the style of the Transformers Devastation game, the way they were kind of incorporating new lore while also being G1. Like the whole game was like, to me, I was like the perfect meld of that, like kind of sort of meshing of the older lore and whatnot and the older style, but also adding newer elements because they use not Nemesis Prime at the time, but Nova Prime, who was a more later creation in Transformers history, and they're kind of using that in G1 era stuff. And I think that's kind of how I would like to see them approach the Transformers series from now on, or at least that kind of style, you know, where it's G1, but it also has the newer elements applied to it in a very faithful way. All right. Here, let's go over all this. This is kind of like a hot rod color, honestly. This red here, be perfect for on this. Yeah. Yeah, well, not all of. That's why I said a little bit of IDW, because they did a lot of weird stuff in that. They did a lot of weird stuff in IDW, but they also did a lot of really cool stuff. You know, it's kind of a little bit more of a mixed bag for me, honestly, with IDW. What I meant for like IDW is like I would have like the Megatron origins from that, while also kind of tying. Well, I mean, that was kind of like based on the Align continuity as well. It's kind of like what they kind of base their version of the character off of. But like one of the things I would have done was I would kind of mix like elements of like, for example, with Optimus Prime and Megatron story, I would kind of mix elements from different stories and tellings in the story of the characters. Like at one point, I think I want to have Orion Pack start out as kind of like the worker bot that we saw in the original cartoon, and then him eventually getting put into data clerk now, working the data clerk part of Iacon and whatnot, like it was in the Exodus novels. That's kind of what I was going for there, where I kind of like mix like different elements of the original story and the newer version of the story, but in a seamless way. Obviously, you know, I didn't want to feel like it was just like, you know, throwing stuff in there just for, you know, sake of it. Yeah, they made better, more correct use of the Prime RC body for one, but God rather. Oh yeah. RC was just so weird. The way they approached RC and IDW is so weird. It was like, what the hell are you guys doing here? RC was a great character. She was a great character in the original cartoon. I really like the way they treated her in the IDW stuff. That should not change. I agree. Start them like they were, and then Pax gets rebuilt as Prime. Yeah, something like that. Like I'd probably have him like, well, I wouldn't. I'm too sure if I'd have him get damaged in the actual thing. I kind of have him like maybe like transferred into work, like maybe like he tries speaking out or whatever against like the corruption at the time in Cybertron's history, and then have him then get put into, you know, data clerk or become a data clerk and whatnot. And obviously, I actually think I included Alita 1 in his story as well, because I can't remember. I'm still going through the Exodus novel right now, actually, and I can't remember. And so I haven't gotten to a part where Alita 1 has made an appearance in that book, so I'm not too sure if she's actually gets involved at any point in that version of the story. But I would want her to be a big part of his story as well. Why not? But that was years ago. And that was like a couple of years ago when I wrote that sort of a synopsis, if you will, for what I would want in a Transformer story. But or like just in general, like kind of not reimagining, but sort of what I would do if I was in charge, essentially. And then one of the reasons I wanted to have it all kind of connect, like all the games and stuff like that, and the movies, because it would. I think that's what we kind of learned from the MCU is that people actually genuinely like when things connect. I think that's kind of something that was interesting, or that kind of made the MCU very appealing. It's like, oh shit, there's a new end credit scene, and then you kind of see, oh, what's going to happen in the next movie. I think that kind of where it's like, oh, this came from that movie. I think it builds interest, a lot of interest. It's for the audience. I think that would be something that would be could work for Transformers as well, because you have lots of characters you can choose from. You can tell lots of different stories on different planets. Sometimes, like you just tell, because there's like that's like hundreds of characters out there that can focus on. They don't have to do just Earth stories. They could do like a band of Autobots on like a moon somewhere out in space after the Exodus. They could be doing a story there and whatnot. Now he had the real RC is screwed in IDW. Yeah, Simmertal, Elita. Yeah, they kind of screw her over a lot as well. No, now he had to get rebuilt to become Prime One. Kind of, because I really like the Exodus origin for Optimus. I like the way that he kind of was. It was when he got the Matrix and whatnot, and the way he got it. I kind of would have liked. I'll have to go back and read it. I can't remember what I initially had in mind for that. But I incorporated a lot of how he got the Matrix and how he became a Prime from the Exodus novels and whatnot, or the Prime cartoon. Just because I really like it, that is where it's like kind of a divine like thing, where he's because like the whole point of because I like the idea that the other Primes before him were all kind of like false Primes. Essentially, they weren't really the most worthy, and obviously the Primes had a past where they also fell apart and whatnot. And so I was like, oh, well, and then so the idea of Prime actually being chosen by Primus himself like tells you how worthy he truly was, to be a Prime. It feels like a more divine sort of a thing, Yeah, essentially, like I like the overarching stories. I think it's really, I think it makes it more interesting, as well, Although I think today it probably wouldn't work because I think people are kind of just getting sick of multiverse or just all these different continuities and whatnot. I think that's also kind of a problem. Not in the way that I think it's just in the way that they're doing it, though. I think that's the problem, where they're kind of messing with continuity a lot with a lot of these things, like the way they kind of screwed over some of the MCU lore with Captain Marvel, where they kind of screwed over Captain America's involvement in being like kind of the first Avenger and whatnot. So I think in theory, like doing these big cinematic universes on film is actually a cool idea. It's just not real. I think that the way they're executing it nowadays is kind of the problem. Yeah, I have to go back and find that little thing I wrote for like what I would do for like a Transformers story or a movie or whatever. I don't think I read those, but I believe two should be combined into his origin. People don't like. Yeah, exactly. Like multiverse storytelling is just not that interesting to me at all. I think it's, I think it's cheap. I think it's not as interesting, because it just cheapens the stakes. The stakes are just not really there if you're just going to be like, oh well, like because if like for example this new Flash movie, it's like they're gonna have like two different Batman or whatever. Or like it's like I don't need two different Batman. I just need one good Batman. And it's just like it's like I have no reason to care if one of them dies, because it's like, oh well, this one dies. Well, there's a Batman in the next universe and the other universe. It's just like, never really been my cup of tea, for stories. Unless it's something like fun, like a crime syndicate story or whatever, then maybe. And if it's just like a once in a while type of thing, maybe. But generally speaking, I'm not really the biggest fan of them. They also get really confusing for like the normie audience too. So I don't think that's. So I don't really think it's really the right approach necessarily for. At least until like it'd be one thing if like for like DC for instance, is trying to do like I think they're trying to do like a Flashpoint movie, but it's just a. Like, I don't know. I'm pretty much done with DC and Marvel anyways on films. I don't really care too much what they do. So, yeah, the multiverse was always fine until other was. Oh yeah, that too. Well, I was talking in general. Like, I mean, it used to be fun, depending on the story it was telling. But generally speaking, I'm not really the biggest fan. Just I don't really think there's a whole lot of stakes in something that where it's like, oh well, this character could die. And, there's characters in the next room that are the same. It's never really been my favorite type of story for superheroes. It's like just give me my hero, my villain, and tell me a story. I don't really need like 5 different versions of Batman. All right. All right. Let's go with this guy. All right, that should be good. No, like the Spider-Verse just gave me exactly. That's kind of like my whole thing. It's like I don't need like 5 different Peter Parkers on screen. It's like give me one good Peter Parker, and that's all I need. I don't care at all about multiverse story that much. So. That being said, let's see, yeah, I mean, I understand like why people want to go see that movie. I personally didn't. I just didn't really. I just didn't really like a lot of the stuff they did with Peter Parker in the MCU to begin with. That's why I didn't really go see it. All right. What time is it? Holy shit. 351. We've actually been making pretty good time, actually. Start at 220. Multiverse is fine to see a different take. Like, what if? Yeah, exactly. I like Elseworlds and stuff like that. That's fine, but it's like when there's, 5 different versions, just like slightly different versions of a character. It's just like, I don't really care. It's like one thing if it's like something like the Justice Lords and the Justice League cartoon where it's like a completely different version of the character stories and whatnot. It's like, oh, like what if this happened? All right. Hey Sherry, how's it going? That last one I've seen, Solomon on Fire feels like Spider-Man. I mean, I don't know. To me, there's a lot of things I don't really like about the character in that version. Like to me, the idea that he meets like the Green Goblin and a lot of these other villains, like for the first time he meets them, they're gonna be somebody else's version of the Green Goblin. Like it's gonna be Tobey Maguire's Green Goblin instead of Tom Holland's own like Green Goblin or Lizard or Doc Ock. Like stuff like that just like kind of just turned me off from it. I was like the relationship between the Goblin and Spider-Man is like very important in the comics and stuff like that. And so just to have it, I don't know. Now, I haven't seen the movie, so I don't really know what the nature of it was, but it's just like. I mean, I think it would be one thing if you already had a Green Goblin and he just met this new one. Like, I guess it'd be fine, but. All right. Or that made Tom so cheap. He should have his own. Yeah, exactly. That's why, it's just like half of his villains in his movies are just Iron Man villains. It's like, oh, Mysterio. Oh, he's a disgruntled employee. Like, he's mad at him because he's a bad boss or whatever. It's just like, how many people have fucking Tony Stark fucked with at the workplace? Like, what the fuck's going on here? Like, what's going on? Is everybody who worked for Tony Stark fucking evil now, apparently? I liked it when Mysterio was just a guy who was just like an actor or whatever. He was just doing his thing. But I mean, the suit looked kind of cool. I like the design a little bit in the movie, but other than that, it was just kind of like, what? And also, I just didn't really like how Aunt May in the first movie, she actually kind of figures out that Peter Parker's Spider-Man, and there's like no repercussions for it at all. Like they never show her like trying to forbid Peter from going out at night to fight crime or whatever. Like no, she's like, go for it, son. Go for it, Sonny. It's just like I don't think Aunt May would be fucking cool with her fucking nephew risking his life to fight super villains every day. Like, okay. Ooh. Let's do that. True, but he would be amazing. And they're all Spider-Man has his own villains. I don't know do it. Exactly. Like they're. Oh yeah. I always wanted to see Willem Dafoe play the Joker. That'd be kind of cool, actually. That'd be good casting. But yeah. But yeah, that's the thing that they made all the Spider-Man villains, like the Vulture and Mysterio and whatnot. They were all just like, just people who were wronged by Tony Stark, so now they have to be bad guys. It's like Spider-Man has his own world of villains and characters. Like let Spider-Man's world be Spider-Man's world. Don't like he has a very unique relationship with a lot of these villains and stuff like that, you know. Especially like characters like the Lizard and Doc Ock, you know. They kind of just like fuck that up and by basically just like, oh well, you know, we're just gonna give you Tobey Maguire's Green Goblin, we'll give you, you know, Sam Raimi or Andrew Garfield's Lizard. We're gonna give you all, you know, someone else's version of the villains because fuck you, you don't deserve your own villains. I guess Tom Holland. You know, I don't hate Tom Holland honestly as Spider-Man. I just don't think that he's playing the good version of the character. I don't think he's. For me, it's more just writing wise for Tom Holland that my main issue is. But yeah, so let's say I just have no interest in seeing where his story sort of ends with this movie. So that's why I never really went to see it. I was like, I'll stick with my Tobey Maguire, my Spectacular Spider-Man, my 90s Spider-Man cartoons, because those are right where Spider-Man was at his best, honestly. In my humble opinion. So, yeah, I don't need anything else. I'm good. Right, it's not Tom's fault. Yeah, exactly. I know folks live a lot of them these days, but I still hate Sony and their 25% difference. Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I don't really care too much about that. It's like, I'm just like, whatever. They're companies, they're doing the thing. I just want good content from these companies, and they're not giving it to me, so I say no. I try not to focus on like the technicalities of it all, but and to me, both Disney and Sony are kind of bad for Spider-Man, anyways. Like, are you seeing Spider-Man 3, Amazing Spider-Man 2? Like, everyone's trying to say, like, oh, we've been wanting Amazing Spider-Man 3 all this time. It's like, where the fuck were you guys when the second movie came out? And it's just like, you were all dunking on it with me back then. Like, we were all shitting on that movie. Now it's like, oh, you want to see the continuity back now because No Way Home. It's like, oh, nice. It's like, yeah. People are just funny. I don't know what's going on with them. Same. It's called Arkham City. Yeah. That's where that finance system comes from. Swim to, yeah. All right. Time's at 4 o'clock. Holy shit. All right. I think we're. Hopefully, I can actually get the background done. It's going a little bit slow today. It's been a while since I used Copic, so I'm kind of just taking it very slow. Yes. All right, let's throw in some darker shades. Gonna get that into that one. Nice. Yeah. I love the Arkham games. They're all a lot of fun. These games are so much fun to play. The third one, a little bit of the story kind of got a little bit hairy. There's a little bit of. I didn't really like this. I had some issues with the story for the third game, but overall, they're all pretty solid. It's definitely a lot of fun to play. Yeah. Still wish they could have let me, run around as Nightwing and whatnot, like in the actual city. But we're supposed to be getting that in this new game, but I don't know if that's going to be all that great. Just don't really like the. I don't know, kind of giving Jason a lot of weird abilities in the new game, like where he can like hop around in midair or some shit, like the Lazarus pit powers or whatever. I was like, what? I do not remember this in the comics, but maybe I missed something. It's been a while since I read DC, man. At least anything new. Obviously, I read old stuff when I can find the time. So I'm just busy. Man, it's very poorly. It was made by the same. Yeah, I actually like the Arkham Origins game. I thought it was all right. But yeah, definitely there was a lot of bugs in the game. I think that's kind of why a lot of people didn't really like it. But overall, I enjoyed it. I thought it was all right. There's a lot of things I don't like about it, though. I didn't like that Lady Shiva got taken out very quickly, very easily. I mean, granted, in that scene, she was just kind of testing Batman, but still, like, in a real fight, like, Lady Shiva would destroy an early stage Batman. Like, because Lady Shiva is not, like, someone you can fuck with, And also, I think it's a little bit too early for some of these villains, like Bane and Deathstroke. I think they should be a little bit later villains that Batman meets. But yeah, thanks, Jacob. And hopefully, yeah, I think it's turning out all right. Just gotta give him his pants and his shirt and his wings, a little bit of his arms, and then we're almost done. Not too sure if I'll be able to get to the background today. Maybe I'll just like film it, me coloring the background in off air. But if I don't finish the actual body. All right. Or I can end up finishing up on Mara and Steph's stream, because I might be going on tonight to draw for the ladies and shoot the shit. Yeah, I think that Mackie's actually going to be going live playing some Fortnite, so I might do that as well. All right. You played it all the way through, but I don't agree with most of the Origins game. Yeah, I didn't like that the Batmobile was so, heavily utilized in the Arkham Knight. I think that was a little bit. I think it should have been a little bit more. Like, they should have taken the less is more philosophy with the Batmobile in that game, because it's like for literally almost everything you have to use the fucking Batmobile. I'm just like, it's like, stop it. It's like, Batman's not a tank man. He's Batman, not tank man. Like, they should just use the Batmobile for like some puzzles here and there, for transportation and chasing down cars and stuff like that. That's about it. Like, it shouldn't be like, it should have just been for like very special occasions where you actually used it in combat or something like that. It's not really a Batman thing to do. Yeah, he doesn't really use his Batmobile, at least not to that extent most of the time, anyways. All right. I think the red is pretty much done. This guy. So I guess some of the areas here. But hold on. Yeah, I think we're ready to move on to the next color pretty soon. Colors are too weird on it too. Yeah, I got used to it eventually, but yeah, I can see why some people would find it to be hard to maneuver. Let me use this on the yellow here real quick. Yeah, there we go. Much better. Look at that. Giving a little bit of a golden sort of vibe here. Definitely looked like they got more characters actually in the game. Like Asriel was really cool to play as. Like, that was like part of that where I lost my shit actually when I was playing the game. It was like, oh shit, I get to play as fucking Asriel? Holy shit. It's like, because I had no idea he was going to be playable in the game when I first played it. I was like, oh, cool. It's like, oh, there's Asriel. It's like, oh, I get to fucking play as him? Really? All right. That was cool. Actually, that'd be kind of a cool game, actually, an Azrael Batman game where it's like you play as Azrael throughout the while Bruce is over training to get his back repaired. That'd be kind of cool. Like to play as an Azrael version of the Batman game or something, or like as like a little DLC sort of story like that. I think the only time they actually used the Azrael Batsuit though in the games was in the or as a skin rather was in the Origins game. So, kind of annoyed they didn't bring that back for some of the other games, but whatever. All right. I think we are done with the orange, the reds, and the yellows. So now I think I'll do the sword in the gold, and then we will start working on the grays and stuff. All right. So let's get this sword shining. As much as we can. All right. All right. Yeah, yeah. I kind of wish that he actually got a story mission, like, because when they did the DLC stuff, they gave like story missions for like characters like Batgirl. They had a story for Catwoman, Nightwing, Robin, but we never. I don't think we got one for Azrael where we saw what he was up to after the events of Arkham Knight. Which, to be fair, I can kind of understand because with Azrael, he kind of has like it was kind of like a gamer or the up to the player's choice what happens to him because basically basically you take control of him and then you basically either you give him the choice between either attack Batman or you're given the choice of dropping the sword and being a hero and whatnot. Like basically, one version makes him a villain, one a hero, and so I kind of understand why they didn't for that reason, but still, I would have liked to see him. And then they could have done like a little like prequel story with him at the very least, you know. But whatever. Thank you, and stupid Damien got one. No, that was not Damien. That was Tim Drake, Robin, in the Arkham Knight game. Although I didn't really like the way they portrayed Tim Drake in that game either. But they made Barbara and Tim a couple, which didn't really make sense, but whatever. But there's a lot they could have done with Tim Drake in that game as well. Like they could have introduced like Stephanie Brown and such. I'm going to use some gold on the insides here. Yeah, spoiler, and well, they could also do a Cassandra Cain if they want to as well. That'd be kind of cool. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot they could have done with those games, but For what it was still a pretty good game. I'll give them that. All right, so I think it's time for some gray tones. Get the gray elements. I think what we'll do is, so for stuff like the cannons and the guns, I'll do an all-in neutral grays. And then for like the hands, the torso, and the feet, I'll do in cool grays. And then maybe toner grays for like other stuff on them. I think it's kind of important to not really important, but I think it's good to have like a difference. It's gray and filled. I thought I filled it like a while ago. So neutral grays we'll use for what? How are you? I thought I refilled your ass. All right. Let me grab my refills. Hold up. All right, I'm gonna make it work. I thought just the nib is just being a dick, but whatever. Here, I'll get some refills out. All right. That should be enough. Get the fuck out of here. All right. You know what I would do? I would bring back the original Batwoman and Batgirl and let Barbara be Oracle as she. Oh, yeah, maybe. That'd be kind of interesting. Have the original versions? Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. There we go. All right. That'd be kind of cool, actually, to see the original Batwoman Batgirl come back. But obviously, they've been kind of changed up in recent days. Actually, I think we'll make the I think we'll use toner grays for the wings. Actually, yeah, we'll use toner grays. So we'll just use the neutrals for this stuff. And I think I'm in the wrist here black, so I'll just wait and use toner grays for that as well. It's a gun. And I'll do these sides here, the little antennas here. All right. No gaming screws with the in the early 2000s. Still matte. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, actually, yeah, that was a really fun one I did when I drew the original classic Batgirl and Batwoman like last year. Actually, I think I drew them in like the Bruce Timm sort of style, at least as much as I could, obviously. But yeah, that'd be kind of cool if they brought them back. No, I definitely do prefer Cassandra Cain. She's kind of my Batgirl, so I mean, you can always make her a black bat or orphan, whichever. But all right. All right, pull the cool grays. Actually, we need to get some. Or actually, let's do 6 first, and then we'll do that. Gotta blend first. Let me use the workout. So yeah, no worries, man. No worries. Maybe we should get some tunes playing at some point. Three strings. Get rid of some of that dead air. My problem is some problem with the copyrighted music though, or non-copyrighted music. Sometimes it is. Sometimes they'll still claim even though they say it's free. You know, some of these things. So you gotta be careful. What music to use? Hi, Riot. How's it going? Okay. All right. I think that'll do it. Oh, I would have all of them be Gotham's Birds of Prey. Like, oh yeah, that'd be kind of cool actually. We have a whole squadron of all the bat chicks teaming up. That'd be kind of cool. All right, let's just grab the 4. All right. So that's it for the neutral grays. Now let's go into the cool grays. Because we are cool. All right. Oh wait, we wanted. All right, whatever. I'll stick with it. I wanted to have toner grays for the wings, but I forgot. I think I like this better actually. I like the more shiny. Because what you use for cool grays, you usually use it to make things a little more shinier. It has a little more of a blue sort of tint to it. At least the lighter shades of blue or cool gray. There we go. All right. Let's do the feet. And I'll do the hands. Thank you, Riot. From the original character Batwoman to Cassandra, they would all be in play. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. That'd be kind of cool. We'll mix some of the grays up the hands. Okay, should be it. Let's pull this up. Time's 4:30, so probably go till about 5:30ish. Also got some other projects I'm working on aside from the Transformer stuff. I'm actually working with Mara because I've been doing some artwork for her merch store on, I think, Teespring, and yeah, she used the chibi style drawings I did of her stuff and Blad's, and she kind of turned into merch. It was pretty cool. And I actually ordered some of the merch too. I actually ordered a mug and a shirt from it. So, and now she wants me to do another one where I'm drawing her. Well, I can't really say what I'm drawing her as, but I like to keep. I imagine she wants to keep it into reps for now until it's ready to be released to the public. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I like doing stuff like this. All right. So, oh, fuck. Okay. So 4 actually. Yeah. Use a C4 on your hand. All right, should be good. There's a certain comic book team you are working on, but for real. Yeah. It's been a while since I've actually been working on the actual comic book. I just kind of hit a rut, a little bit of a writing rut, and just haven't really been able to get into it. Mostly because a lot of these commissions I've been doing have kind of taken up a lot of my time. So, but I am hoping to get back into the comic book eventually. I have some ideas actually I kind of came up with a couple days ago. I actually use them in some capacity. But yeah, hashtag Ho Squad. Yeah, exactly. Although I think on the actual store she couldn't actually put Ho Squad for it. Just Squad for the newer piece of merch she just put up. All right. Let's grab some toner grays, shall we? She'll probably mix toner with neutral. There we go. Kind of same here. Later I will be doing some more reading on my art. Just drawing the marble way. Oh, nice, dude. Nice. Let's just check out the poll here. Looks like it's changed a little bit. Ooh. Defensor is getting some love, and Superion is just all by himself. Nobody wants me to draw Superion. Sorry, Grumpy. The people have spoken. All right, fucking feet. Just missed it. I'm kidding though. I will eventually do a Superion at some point. Okay. Set me. All right. Kind of wish I had more toner grays because I only have a couple. It's gonna make things a little bit difficult here. All right. All right. Let's get this going now. All right. It's turning out pretty well. Which I might add some dark, yeah, I'll add some black here. I want to kind of break out the red a bit. It's a little darker here. There we go. Just to kind of break up some of this, the all black or all red, you know. There we go. All right. All right, where's my 6 at? That's the 4. There it is. All right. And we'll go in at the end 4. Kind of just use a little lighter shade here. All right, I should just check the stream real quick. Right. So yeah, we're making pretty good progress, I think. He's turned out pretty well. I think we're almost done here, honestly. At least for the day. Might do. You know, I'll do the lava real quick. I'll do the lava, and then we will. I think we'll call it a wrap right here because I'm thinking pretty much done here with the robot. Obviously, I'll go back and add some little touch-ups here and there, but yeah, I think we're in the sweet spot, so to speak. So let's get this lava going because I do like drawing lava. I'm kind of thinking maybe I should do like a diorama with like a volcano in the background one day. My problem is I don't really have a character or selection or a shelf in mind for that. But you know, maybe one day if I do get like a Predaking or Devastator one, maybe I could do it then. But we'll see. Dude, I ran into a guy on Nina's stream. He has a lot going on, but he seems to be rather talented art. Yeah, Leia, but yeah. Well, I think it's time we bring him on to Mackney's channel then. We gotta pump him up, you know? Cheer him on as much as I can. Yeah. Goes by Brick Hardcastle. Ooh, all right. It's like a possibility, but he doesn't get on during the day much. He recently broke his neck. Yeah. Yeah, I imagine why he'd be a little bit out of sorts. Yeah, I hope he recovers, though. I hope he recovers soon. Seems like a good dude. All right. Not this one. Let's use what you got. I think R14. Yeah. All right. I'm getting somewhere. Kind of reminds me of the Beast Wars Megatron I did last year. It's very similar to that one. I didn't really know what to do for a background, honestly. I kind of just came up with this last night. So I was like, throw them in a volcano area or something. It works for the pose. So I kind of like when it comes to like the Predacons and stuff like that, it's usually better to draw them like nature sort of environments more so than like your streets or your cities or whatever. I just think it's more fitting for the characters to be in more natural environments. Okay. Do you see the Megatron, his tank? Oh, yeah, I saw some of the G.I. Joe, I think, crossover figures. Those look kind of cool, actually. Like where it comes to like Baroness and everything, too. That's fucking cool. And those dark grays really made the other colors pop. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I might actually add another layer of tonal grays to the chest. It's a little, I think it needs to be a little bit darker. I'll use the 9. Yeah, that's kind of the point of darker colors. They kind of highlight your lighter colors a lot more. Make them pop out a bit more. Unless it's like Batman, where you kind of want him to be all in shadows, so you don't want to see a whole lot of them. Because that's how Batman's supposed to look. But for a character like this, you kind of want to see what's going on with him, you know. Because he's very bright and colorful. Yeah. Ooh, you might need to fix that later. They make a Hasbro verse, so it has to be that way. Exactly. All right. All right, I think it's starting to take shape now. I think I'm gonna call it a wrap right here, actually. Gotta go take care of some things, and possibly I might be on with the top nerdy to us crew. Actually, I'll quickly pull up the link for the merch store. If I can, go here. We'll do this. Teespring. There. There. All right. All right, so here's the Teespring store. If you guys want to see some of my artwork and show your support to my to a Jade channel, you find stuff. And I have the shirt on, so it's gonna be kind of cool. Yeah, so next time, well, chat's already decided unanimously, I think, that Devastator will be the next combiner that I draw on the stream on this channel. So yeah, see you, man. Happy birthday again. Thanks for streaming. Yeah, no problem, Bosa. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. But yeah, go check out Mara's store. I'll try to. I'll see if I can hop on with Mara tonight, like I said, and we will. I'll probably end up continuing to draw this as well. I'll probably work on this while on there. So yeah, let's find us a clip to end us off on. This is we got a huge ass turnout. This this stream is like I got like 8 people. Like holy shit, that's a lot. So and vote for him over Sabrina. Aw. Yeah, well, it probably wouldn't matter that much anyway. He's grumpy. Could it still be 1 to 10? So don't worry, we'll do superior on this eventually once we get there. All right, let's find us a clip. Who should we? Alright, so I think we'll end us off on some drunk Decepticons. I think that's kind of fitting for the birthday party theme. So, yeah. Thanks. Yeah. I'm trying to do more. We're trying to do a lot more dynamic poses with Transformers. Like I did that a little bit with the jazz that I was drawing on Mackie's channel. Which I'll show it off real quick if I can. Right before I leave. Where's my book? This one. I'm getting everything mixed up. There it is. Okay. Yeah, I'll show off some of the stuff I actually worked on in case people didn't see it when I was on Mac's channel the other day. But here's the Galvatron I started. Still needs a little bit more work, but I at least got the basic sort of pose. I was kind of basing it off of the pose when he kind of was reformatted by Unicron. So then we had a little Rodimus Prime, stand tall like a hero. And then we did, that's a Bumblebee that I wasn't proud of. And there's the jazz. Here's the jazz I was working on. So I've been trying to work on more dynamic poses with Transformers. It's a little bit more difficult, but yeah, I want to make them feel like they're more coming alive. You know, they're giving a bit more personality and stuff. So, but here, let's close this up. On that note, we will see you guys later. I might do a stream tomorrow. Might work on the diorama some more. And yeah, then next weekend, I'll probably do I'm not too sure what I'll be doing next weekend. But I'll think of something. So I will see you guys later. And let's end this off with some drunk ass motherfucker Decepticons. Later, everybody.
Decepticons, a toast to the imminent destruction of the accursed Autobots.
Boy, these are good.
This stuff's the greatest. Those were the good old days back on Cybertron. Didn't have to sneak around in these ugly Earth disguises. Good old Cybertron, land of the metal moon.
Opportunity to revive Cybertron has been lost due to the treachery of Optimus Prime. But from our fortress of New Chaon, we will instead seize control of this world. Decepticons, transform and rise up!
The Transformers will return after these messages.